let us know what speedrunning is from literally the basics up.
Imagine we don't know anything. We've brought you. You've stumbled across. You've knocked on this door and like, oh, they're doing a podcast. Let me get involved. Okay, what's speedrunning?
Speedrunning is, it's like a bit like what it says in the title, is getting through the game as quickly as possible, finding certain strats that make certain bits faster than the casual gamer would do it. So, I'll give you an example. Like, I'll give you a Metal Gear Solid example. Like, in Metal Gear Solid, you go through, say you're starting out, you get to the bit, there's a bit where you've got to go through a door that opens, but it's got laser vents, so you've got to time going through certain bits. However, in Metal Gear Solid, there's a vent before that door that you can sort of glitch through that takes you out of bounds, and you go round that door. So you don't have to time the going under the lasers, and you don't have to call the woman through the codec to open the door. So that saves you big time, and that's a little glitch.
So it's people like, so I'm going to be blunt and honest and say, it's people like you that don't tell the developers about these bugs. And I'm saying, yo, fix this bug, man. Fix this bug. And he's like, no, don't do that. That's going to help my timing, bro.
Don't do that.
And how would you find that out? Is there any that you, because obviously some people must see another person's run and think, right, with the stuff that I already do and that new glitch I found, I can probably get a faster time now. Do you like to share your,
learn off each other?
Is there a community, or is it like, this guy just only did it because I found this glitch, or is there stuff that you found personally?
There's a community, I'd say. There was something I found personally in Metal Gear Solid Twin Snakes, and I remember doing it. I was doing it in like a speedrun marathon, so I wasn't trying to get PB. I was just trying to do a marathon for my community. And I come across this thing I did. I remember doing it, and I was like, "What the fuck just happened?"
What was it?
Basically, in Twin Snakes, there's you drop into a cell, and you've got to wait for the door to open. And I rolled through I just did the roll action as I was going through the door, just to
try to get through a bit quicker.
Just to be a bit of an idiot, really.
No, just playing around.
And then I heard this sound as if I'd picked up an item as it was going into the cutscene. I was like, wait, what's just happened? And
I think you told us this,
And actually, what I did is I rolled into the Socom.
And got the gun.
And it picked up the Socom before that.
Sick.
So what then that does is it acts as if you already picked up the Socom, so it spawns ammo where that Socom was.
Okay.
So you think you get an extra, because each pack is 12 bullets.
So
you got an extra 12 bullets from the get-go.
So
nice.
And you've already got the gun as well. So.
And did you share that instantly?
Yeah, so I said, I don't know if anyone's noticed this before, but I did this, and I clicked it in, and people were like, wow, that actually really good, and people started to lab it to make it consistent, and so saves a lot of time.
So as you said,
not a lot of time, maybe 3 or 4 seconds. I shouldn't lie to people and say
there could be a margin of 10 people within 3 and 4 seconds. So that's the difference between first and 10th. It could be. I'm just saying it could be. But as you said, speedrunning, it basically says it in the title. You're trying to do the whole game as fast as possible. There's also, what do you think? There's a thing called any percent. And then there's the people that any percenters are the super glitches, right? That can press up, down, left, right, circle, and at the end. Do you know what I mean? And then for me personally, that ain't speedrunning to me. That's speed glitching.
That's speed glitching.
That's me personally. That's speed glitching. Who can get the best glitch area? Yours is that I want to get rid of this cutscene. Do you know what I mean? How can we get rid of this cutscene as quick? Are you in the any percenter, or are you in the let's do the game?
Most of my, I do all bosses on Metal Gear Solid 1.
Okay,
Which is, there's a few glitches, but none that skip major parts of the game, say.
That's cool.
But yeah, I'm probably in your sort of, where I want to do all of it.
Yeah, I love that.
Also, speedrunning it. I'll do the glitches that make certain things out of the game that aren't important, but I don't want to skip, say, 3 bosses or
I get it. So how did you get into speedrunning? I'm surely it couldn't have just been, I want to do speedrunning.
It's hard to say, because I used to stream on Justin TV, which is what
Twitch used to be.
And there's a few, I used to just run through Resident Evil, not speedrunning, because I wasn't into speedrunning then, but it's hard to say, because there's a few people I met back then that was like, we should do a Resident Evil 2 race, but I didn't consider that speed running because I wasn't.
You were just doing a race.
Yeah, I was just doing a race.
Yeah.
But then fast forward to 2020, and I was working from home, and I started watching Twitch, and a few people that I was watching speedrunning Resident Evil 2 because I really love Resident Evil 2, and I wasn't specifically searching for Resident Evil 2 speedrunning, but I was searching for Resident Evil 2 streams.
Yeah.
So I started watching a few people and they speedrun it, and I was like, wow, that's awesome. And I started getting engaged in their streams, watching it every day, like while I was working.
What was it? What grabbed you about it? Because obviously you'd been playing Resident Evil 2 with your game. Like, if I was to watch like my favorite game of all time, God of War, and it doesn't. If I watch other people play it, I just want to play it myself. So what was it that grabbed you, that made you think, do you know, I want to get into what they're doing? What was it? Is there something about speedrunning that?
A challenge.
Yeah.
It was a challenge,
It was a challenge.
Yeah,
Is it the challenge of it?
Definitely the challenge, and also it adds more replay value, I think.
True.
Yeah,
very
Because
true.
That's
you
very
think
true.
if you carry on replaying, because that's what I used to do. I used to just play through Resident Evil 2 over and over, but I wasn't doing anything different. I was just going through the story, and then speedrunning just adds that. Hold on a minute, I can replay it over and over and try and beat my times, and that's an achievement.
Yeah, of course.
Ha, that's cool. That's cool, definitely.
So when did it start becoming a career for you? So when did it start becoming, right, I'm going to do this for Twitch? Because surely it wasn't always right.
No.
Did you set up Twitch as a Resident Evil speedrunner, or was Twitch just I'm
I
playing
already
games?
had a Twitch, yeah.
So I'm a
games,
gamer.
yeah.
I want to play games on Twitch. When did it become, right, I'm a speedrunner on Twitch?
Around September 2020.
2020. And what was the turning point to it? Was it just like, right, I can compete amongst the top guys?
At first, it was like, I want to see if I can do this.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then it was like, I started to get better and better, and I was like, you know what? Yeah, I can compete with certain guys.
Cool.
Let me be real here. Like, there are some guys at the top of Resident Evil 2 that I'd love to be in that category because they know that game and they are extremely good at it.
Yeah. I get it.
Know it inside
But
out.
like
if we're being real in that, when I say when Mortal Kombat done, Sonic Fox would wipe the floor with me.
Oh yeah.
Yo, big up Foxy Grandpa.
What's the other geezer's name? Yeah,
Ninja
Foxy,
Killer.
Ninja,
Them man
that
would
man.
slap me up left, right, and centre. But I'm still a Don, bro.
I'm still a Don.
You get me? Like, you're still a Don, bro. You get me?
Man. Yeah.
Like, I love the humbleness. I love the real. But what is it that stops? Like, there's so many intricacies to like fighting games, from startup frames to is that safe on block. What is it that stops you watching the top guys run and matching it?
I think so. Like, I think some people are naturally gifted at it.
Yeah.
Whereas I don't feel like myself. I would say I'm not naturally gifted. I'm trained at it. I'm trained to get better and better.
As anything,
that's
the
good
way you get.
advice that you're giving out right now.
How do you become a better footballer? You practice.
Yeah.
That's the only. I think that's everybody.
Yeah, I think you look at it. You mentioned football. Like, there's people that have that argument.
Shall we mention football?
No,
Let's carry on.
Let's not mention. But you say, like, a lot of people when they're comparing Messi and Ronaldo, they say Ronaldo's trained.
Yeah.
And he's trained to be good and good, whereas Messi is naturally gifted.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that can come in any shape or form. Like, you look at boxers, some boxers are probably trained to be better,
And some people just
are just it. Look at Tyson Fury. He obviously trains, but he
just has it.
Yeah.
I get it.
That's the saying that's out there, isn't it? This is hard work beats talent when talent refuses to work hard.
Yeah,
Love that.
The frames, what we were saying about the Claire
FPS,
Redfield.
yes,
there,
you
you
said, why
said
was
about
it
the frames, and as well
important?
as, like I said, what was her name? Claire. I think when she's hurt, she moves faster. Kind of missed a bit of that. I was thinking that's quite important for a speed runner,
not
isn't
bad,
it? Those no.
Go ahead.
We were flowing.
Interject.
We were flowing. I just thought, let
Let's-
me get that before we move on to anything.
Yeah, let's talk about that. So yeah, frames are important. So on PC, I run the 120 FPS category. Reason
Okay,
I'll
there's different
ex-
categories.
different
See,
categories,
this
nice.
is interesting.
I'll explain why we.
You meant to tell us these things, but we don't know, bro.
I'll explain why we cap it as well. So basically, we cap it at 120 because you think otherwise it's just going to be pay to win. Whoever can hold the highest frames is going to have the world record.
Yeah.
So we capped it at 120. reason why frames are important in Resident Evil 2 specifically is because, and they fixed this in Resident Evil 3, I don't know why they didn't fix it in Re 2, but basically your knife damage is tied to frames.
Okay.
So you think like on 60 FPS, it takes around 30 swings of the knife to kill the first boss, whereas
200 frames would be about 10, 15.
Yeah. So 120, the record for Claire is 14 slash. So everyone tries to aim for a 14 slash. I usually get 15, which is still considered good.
Yeah.
So surely, okay, quick one. You could do 15 slashes, but is that consecutive? So you don't stop hitting?
Yeah, you got, because this is on Claire, so Claire has a certain animation where you're trying to, basically, you want to angle her so you get as much of your knife swing into the boss.
Okay.
So you can, and you've got like audio triggers, so you'll hear how the slash sounds, and then you can tell that you've basically hit it with three. I think she has 3 points of the hit, where you're basically getting a 3-in-1.
Yeah. I get it.
Nice.
That's mad, that is.
See that down to the audio, listening to
hearing that, like,
properly.
Yeah.
I only got 2 from the swing, so the swing needs to be correct to get the full range of motion of the hit, basically. So you're saying start up. Say it's an 8-frame start up. You need all 8 of those frames need to hit, basically.
Yeah.
Okay.
See.
And then what was we saying about Claire? And as Claire, there's a zombie at not the first section in the gas station, but as we get to the streets, that's got like one arm or no arms, so he literally like gets on you and bites you, but you don't lose the time of a grab animation. So we get that zombie to put Claire on caution because she actually runs faster in caution, same as Jill does in Resident Evil 3. So it's something to do with the Resident Evil engine that they've got, whereas the female's animation as they're on caution means that they move faster.
Sick. So that means
but don't
you can get a better time. However, you're risking it more.
Yeah, it's a big risk because that's the one risk I think that's the one thing. If I was to say to someone who's just coming into Resident Evil 2 Remake now, what categories should I start off with? As much as I prefer running Claire, my first tip would do Leon to start off to get comfortable with the game.
Don't do Leon.
Okay.
Leon doesn't want to be done.
Carry on. Yeah. Not this Leon.
But yeah, basically, because Claire, you run that risk of, if you get hit on caution, you're straight onto danger.
Yeah.
Whereas if Leon gets hit, he starts on fine, and you run through the game on fine. So he'll get knocked onto caution, so it won't be where you're moving too slow. Yeah.
I get it.
That's interesting. So starting with Leon would be better because obviously there's less risk. But as you get better, move on to one of the ladies so you can get better time. But it is a lot more riskier.
Yeah. And that's why another thing to explain about it, you'll see a lot of us when we get into the boss fights with G2 and G3 on 120 FPS, you'll see it's lower.
What's G2 and what's G3?
G2 is the second boss.
Okay.
And G3 is the third boss. Basically, you're fighting Birkin, who's injected himself with the G virus.
This game's got my whole name. Leon Burke? Freaking out. Sorry, go on.
But basically, he's injected himself with the G virus, which is what turns people into these zombies and monsters. Yeah. And he basically mutates as the game goes on. So G1 is his first form, and then he mutates to G2 and G3. And even G4 and G5 in some of the other categories. But basically, so you'll see a lot of the PC runners, because they're running 120 FPS, as they go into the second boss fight and third boss fight. Not so much the first one, because I don't think it's so demanding on your frames, but you'll see they lower their image quality down to 50%, just so they can hold those 120 frames.
Clever.
But that's like,
all these
exactly like when we're playing Warzone, we take off all the film grain, all the motion blur, all the world blur, just so your frames are there. Like, literally, you'll buy, people will have two 3090 Ti's for graphics and then get on Warzone and take all that away just so their frames are the best. Field of view, you got it out there, and then your frames, you want to keep it as high as possible. Like,
give you the competitive edge, doesn't it?
Payne, Mr. Carlton was like, yo, I'm a 200 frame kind of guy. Like, if it drops below that, I'm not happy. So he doesn't want to see no bullet trajectory. So no, when it leaves like holes in the wall, he doesn't care about all that. Don't care. Just want a flat surface. I just want the game to run as smooth as it can be.
And that's what I mean. That helps for
Yeah,
speed
yeah.
running.
Speed
Clearly,
running,
on every last thing, those are the little details that get you those times. Isn't it?
And there is certain details, like there's something in, I don't know it because I've not ran Resident Evil Village. There's certain section of you two play Resident Evil 8.
No,
I haven't.
You've got it. Didn't you get it?
Did I get it?
What was it, 7?
Nah, I can't remember.
Yeah, but there's a section where like a baby that's mutated.
Okay.
It's really big.
No,
And-
definitely ain't got it.
And there's a way to get past it fast, but I've seen people, I don't know the full strats, but they turn their frame rate down to 30
Okay.
so that it allows them to get past it. I don't know how it works, but I've seen people do it, and I'm like, oh, so people knock their frame rate down.
See,
mad.
So
not
those
even
little
just
things.
having
you know.
higher ones, sometimes it works with lower.
Ain't it mad? We're in an age where I think I said, can graphics get any better? Really? And yes, they can, but no one uses it. But in competitive gameplay, 'cause what you do is a competitive nature, right? Speedrun is to try and get competitive. When it comes to nobody wants the graphics.
Not in competitive. You just want a smooth experience.
Thank you for watching the Good Gaming Podcast. For more information and for more content, please like, subscribe, be the first to see what we're about to do next. And make sure you hit that bell notification so you're the first to see what comes up. Boom.